Hello and welcome to Henry Wheeler's Movie Reviews, where I take a look at films that I've never seen before, but others likely will have done. And it's been a difficult few days for the whole nation. I can't believe they're gone. I mean, they represented so much of the values of this country, and were really a great representation of what it means to be British. And I can't believe it's happened. I'm sorry. Mick, the pub landlord, was the role that Danny Dyer was born to play, and now he's left EastEnders. He'll be missed, but he'll go on to greater pastures and probably star in some more geezer films.
People think of you as, always being hard. Are you hard now?
I'm sorry. In all seriousness though, yeah, it's sad. The Queen is dead, as the Smith song goes. But yeah, let's just move on with our lives, shall we? So, from one grossly horrific, seismic event that would shake the nation from another,
I never have really parted.
Let's talk about nuclear holocaust. And I'm going to take a look at the 1984, I mean, you may as well call it a horror film, Threads. This is something I've been wanting to watch for a long time, and a lot of people have stated that it's one of the scariest films ever made. I'm very intrigued by this because I like to be scared, and I like kind of disturbing films. So this might be quite intriguing. It is a television movie, but I still believe that it's going to be impactful to a certain degree. So let's get cracking, shall we? So, Threads finds us in the company of a couple named Ruth and Jimmy. We're in Sheffield during the Cold War, and the US and the Soviets are fighting over Iran, and tensions escalate to the point where the Soviets drop a nuclear bomb in the North Sea, followed by another attack on a RAF airbase near Sheffield, and the rest is complete abject panic and terror. So this won 4 BAFTAs. It was nominated for 7, and you can really see why. It's brilliantly made. The way they portrayed the initial impact of the bomb and the fallout is one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen. I don't know why, but the image of that woman wetting herself in the street was more visceral than anything in Saw. I was truly shook by this, and it's not often that I'm speechless after watching a film, but afterwards I really just needed time to sit down and process what I'd just seen.
Jesus Christ, they've done it. They've done it.
There isn't really much to discuss here. It's really horrible, but in all the best ways. I love the docudrama style presentation of it, as it really adds to the heft of the subject matter and puts you right in the centre of it all, and in a way that I haven't quite seen done so successfully before. Obviously I'm a huge fan of Peter Watkins and love the work that he's done, but this really struck a chord with me. It's an enormous triumph. It's spectacularly written and directed. The effects are truly jaw-dropping for a film with a budget of 400 grand, given just how frighteningly genuine it appears. Even the shots of the vaporized bodies, they look real, which for a film from 1984 with the budget that it had is just nothing short of remarkable. Also, linking back to the beginning of the video, speaking of soap operas, apparently the director Mick Jackson wanted the cast to be lifted from Coronation Street, though decided against it and opt for unknown actors and adopt a kind of near-realist style. But it didn't stop many of the cast members being Corrie stars, as a number of them were from the show anyway. The acting across the board is entirely believable, especially Ruth and Jimmy, who we see moving into their first flat together, being in love, discovering that she's pregnant, and then being separated after the blast, and Ruth tries to search for him when you know that he's probably already dead or worse. It's pretty hopeless. Obviously, the reason why I chose this film was due to the recent escalations with Russia and how potentially the UK could have been bombed, and this really puts all that into perspective, as I can imagine most people at the time knew that there was a war between the US and the Soviets, but they didn't really feel the magnitude of the situation, and then saw this and thought, whoa, that's concerning. I know that a lot of people, my parents included, don't want to see things that will bring them down or just shake them to their core, but everyone should see this film. Its importance just, it can't be overstated. It's absolutely essential. It is rather funny though, Mick Jackson, you know, the film that he made a few years after this, The Bodyguard. Yeah, the Whitney Houston one. Isn't life funny? I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10. This is one of the most traumatic films that I ever have or will ever watch. I haven't seen something so seismic in regards to suffering and misery on screen since Come and See, for which this would make a splendid double bill if you're in a particularly masochistic mood. But I don't know why you'd want to do that to yourself. Certainly I can only withstand so much misery at one time. So those are my thoughts on Threads. If you've seen it, let me know what you thought of it in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. You can also follow me on Letterboxd. Hopefully there's no nuclear holocaust anytime soon, or ever. See you all very soon. Bye bye bye. What the fuck you doing?